Good evening. My name is Bob Chalker, and I'm the Executive Director at NACE International. And today I want to share with you our 2013 to 2018 strategic plan. NACE International's Board of Directors, our committee chairs, and many of our volunteers have worked hard over the last year to really take a look at what NACE needs to do over the next 5 years to reach its goals, to make a difference in this world, to achieve its vision and mission. And what I'm here today to share with you is the results of that work and our plan that we've laid out for the next 5 years. We did it a little bit different this year. Instead of being really focused on mission and vision, we focused on a core ideology and some core values that we really want to embrace and support. Our core ideology is to protect people, assets, and the environment from corrosion. It's not much different than what our mission was in the past, but we really have made a recommitment to that belief. We've also have identified 6 core values that we believe must be embraced as an organization if we're going to be successful. And those core values include honesty, integrity, accountability and responsiveness, taking initiative, and being focused on innovation. We've also made a commitment that we want to do things with excellence. Now, excellence is a broad term with a lot of definitions. So we took the time to sit down and really put what we mean when we say we want to be an organization who is committed to excellence. First and foremost of this is that we recognize and value our members and volunteers. NACE International doesn't exist if we don't have the commitment to our members and to our volunteers. They are why NACE is here, and they are why NACE is able to be successful. We also believe that we need to listen to our members and customers. If we value them, then we clearly want to be willing to listen to what they have to say. And we've recommitted to being a listening organization, and we want the feedback from our members and volunteers. So I encourage you to pass on to us, either through your section officers, committee chairs, the board of directors, or through staff, what you think NACE should be. We believe that if an organization is going to be successful, we have to have shared values and goals. We can't be going a lot of different directions. We can't be having our own beliefs. We got to have a continuity and a commitment that is consistent across the organization. Therefore, we are communicating this strategic plan and helping everybody understand where the organization needs to be heading. If you mix that in with listening to the members and the customers, and you feed that information back in, we believe we have a plan that isn't just a document on the shelf, but truly can be used to guide the organization forward. We also believe that if you're going to be a successful organization, you have to have goals and you have to have commitments. And a lot of those are measured by numbers. So we have to be an organization that is committed to hitting our numbers, whether that is a membership number, whether that is a customer satisfaction or a member satisfaction number, an attendee number or a revenue number, a budget number. It's important that we're focused on hitting the numbers. That will make sure that NACE is sustainable and here for a long, long time to serve our members. We also believe we need to be an organization who are people that care about not just NACE, although we really appreciate they do, but care about our society, care about our environment, that we care about each other, and we're willing to be there for our co-members, our co-workers, and those in our industry, as well as in our societies and our communities, as an organization that people look up to because of what we're willing to do to help them. We believe that it's incredibly important to have a positive attitude. If we're not able to have a positive attitude, how much fun is it going to be to work in an organization? Have you ever been someplace where people just aren't happy? It's not a place you want to be. We want to be an organization that looks to the positive, is willing to reach out and stretch themselves, who's committed to doing things right and finds great enjoyment in it. We also believe in being committed to the chain of excellence. And the chain of excellence, although the words might be a little bit difficult to follow, it's really a quite simple concept. It basically says that whenever you're in an interaction between two people, if you Focus on that person as a customer, as somebody you're trying to serve, and do your absolute best in that one relationship to do it extremely well with excellence. The entire organization will progress forward because of that, because we pass it on as a chain from one person to the next to the next. And finally, we believe we're an organization that needs to say thank you. And frankly, we've not been very good at that over the years. It's easy to get caught up in the fact that our people are busy, they have a lot of things going on in their lives, our volunteers don't have the time to really make the extra effort to say thank you. Our staff sometimes falls down in this area. We believe, and are again making a recommitment, that we want to be an organization that appreciates what people does for us, and that we're willing to thank them for it. The way we approached the strategic plan this year, again, I said it was a little bit different. It was a little bit out of the box. Instead of initially focusing on goals, what we focused on was in envisioning what a future could be like if NACE were truly a successful organization. So we identified several elements that we consider our envisioned future. The first is around education and knowledge. We said, think about how our world would be different if, one, all of our high school students were exposed to corrosion science through programs initiated by NACE International. Our foundation has the C-Kit program. It's received with overwhelming positive responses from the educational community, but it only reaches a very small number of students. If we could get that in the hands of every high school student, wouldn't our world be just a little bit different? And that's how the rest of these elements roll out and approach. What if professional engineers were required to have corrosion as part of their background? And so when they're making their decisions on a design, they were considering corrosion at all times. What if government and industry was looking at NACE as the key provider of knowledge and information about corrosion and how to prevent corrosion? What if they knew us as the go-to people? Wouldn't we be able to make a much more positive impact? And then we said, what if we were truly servicing our members globally? We have changed as an organization. We are much more global in nature. What if we were truly serving them well with offices located around the world? How would our world be different because of that? We also focused on human resources. We said, what if NACE was truly seen as the premier organization by industry, government, as the place to go to get your education on corrosion? The third area we focused on was public policy and the public good. What if the world's cost of corrosion were able to be reduced by 50%? How much different would our country be better off? If you recognize that over 3% of our gross domestic product is spent on corrosion, think of the money that would be available to our governments, to our society and communities, to our industries to do better things with that money. And then we said, what if industry association and policymakers collaborated with NACE using our content to improve their safety and the sustainability of their assets? Wouldn't that make a difference? Again, there's an economic aspect of corrosion that we need to consider. And then fourth, we looked at application and said, if industry leaders and policymakers had the tools, the things they need to make better decisions, how much better off would our organization be? And then finally, what if practitioners around the world looked to NACE and used our standards in their designs, approaches to maintenance, and everything they did? They were using the NACE industry standards. Again, what a difference it would make. So we have this envisioned future, but the reality is the envisioned future, there's some gaps between where we sit today and where we need to be in the future. And we have to address those gaps. And so we asked ourselves several mega questions. The first mega question we asked ourselves is, how do we make ourselves more effective globally? What do we need to do different as an organization, recognizing now that we have more than half of our members are from outside the United States, recognizing that our membership and our interests are growing around the world. They're growing in the US, but they're even growing faster in places like China and India, Eastern Europe. How do we service these people around the world and do it effectively and do it well? Second, we asked, how do we raise the awareness of corrosion. We can have all these great programs, we can have all these great standards, we can have the best education in the world, but if people don't know and understand that there's a problem and they're not asking the question about corrosion, how do we give them what they need if they don't even know they need it? And so how can we raise that awareness? Our next mega question is, how do we motivate, manage, and maintain volunteer resources? It's really important that this organization recognizes it is driven by and it succeeds because of our volunteer structure. The people who give their time, energy, money, and effort all the time, every day, every week. Without them, NACE can't accomplish anything. We also have to recognize they're busier than they've ever been in their jobs, in their homes, and they have less and less time to volunteer. So we have to be an organization that's sensitive to that, but also puts programs in place to tap into those resources. And fourth, we asked, how do we diversify our resources so that we're not just dependent on one product line or one area? Over our history, NACE has evolved, and education has become an incredibly important part of what we do. But we believe there are other aspects of our business that need to be focused and emphasized. We need to have strong sections. We need to have a strong conference program. We have to have publications that meet the needs of our members and our customers. We also believe we have to take advantage of technology, and we have to be focused on what's coming down the pike that will help us accomplish our goals and make sure we're putting these new products in place, whether they're online or they're face-to-face, they're in print, however they're delivered. We have to be the leaders in this area. Finally, we said, how do we position NACE as the leading organization to address corrosion? We have to be seen as the go-to organization. We believe that we have to be, as the world's leader on corrosion, we have to be seen as the place that you come for the answers to your questions. So again, those mega questions, how do you answer those mega questions? How do you address this? Well, they can be pretty large and pretty overwhelming. And so what we said was we need to break this down into bite-sized pieces. And so we established a series of goals that we want to accomplish over the next 5 years. Then those goals have been taken and put into a roadmap of strategies, each assigned a period of time that over 1 year out, 3 years out, or 5 years out for implementation. And they've all been supported with budget and a time commitment. So let me take the opportunity to review the goals at a high level. The first goal is very focused on decision makers. We want to make sure that the decision makers in our communities, the decision makers in our industry and our businesses have and look to NACE as a resource. And so with that, what we said is we want to increase corporate awareness and support of what NACE does. We also want to increase the understanding of the impact of corrosion and what it means to, again, societies and industry, and how much money is lost every year. The risk of life and safety that we incur every year because of corrosion. Make sure they're aware. That's the first step. We also want to increase the understanding of the impact of corrosion and the benefits of corrosion in science technology. The neat thing about corrosion is we can address it through science and technology. And we have people in our industry that are able to apply that extremely well. And we just got to make it visible that to the people who make the decisions that those resources are available to them. We said we also want to make it increase the educational events for non-corrosion professionals. How do we make people who don't think of corrosion as their everyday job? Maybe they're accountants, maybe they're CFOs, maybe they're purchasing agents. They could be engineers, but their background is mechanical or electrical, and they're designing products, and corrosion hasn't been taught to them. What can we bring to the table that will allow these people who don't live and breathe what we live and breathe, they have access to the information? The second area, goal 2, is around the technical professional, and it's about helping the technical professional develop and grow within the corrosion community. So one of our first focuses is to identify clear career paths. Make sure that the technical professional can see a path forward. If you're a young engineer or you're a young scientist or a technician and you're getting started in the corrosion world, you should be able to see how you can advance, how you can move up, how you can provide for your family, make a living through the corrosion world. And we need to do a better job of defining those career paths. We also believe that we need to increase the number of post-secondary institutions that are offering corrosion either as part of a program or even more so as an actual completed degree in either corrosion engineering, corrosion technology, corrosion technician work. And we're seeing a growth in that in the education community. NACE is committed to supporting those efforts. We want to provide opportunities for practitioners in other fields of expertise to learn about corrosion. We want to increase job placement tools and networking. This is a very dynamic industry. We're seeing a lot of changes in this industry. We're seeing a lot of growth in this industry. That means there's a lot of opportunity. How do we put people who are coming into our industry in touch and connected with the places where there's work and jobs for them? We want to assure that the NACE Institute certification program remains the best in the world and that it continues to advance and stay up with state-of-the-art information technology and delivery methods. And then finally, we want to encourage regulation that promotes our industry and promotes the need to protect from corrosion. Good regulation, and we mean good regulation, is key to making sure that good decisions are made and corrosion technology is applied properly. Our third goal is focused around society, and we want to focus to help our general society, our communities, be aware of corrosion, make sure they understand how it negatively impacts them, and make sure that our society holds our decision makers accountable, that they will make good decisions to protect our people, assets, and the environment from corrosion. Goal 4 is around public policy. We want to work closely with government decision makers, whether they're regulators or they're legislators, to help them make better decisions around corrosion. That starts with education, and we've increased our commitment significantly in this area. It, though, goes on to helping them write proper laws and to write proper regulation that is practical, that it can be implemented, and that it can achieve the goals of reducing the cost of corrosion. And then we want to make an impact. And basically making an impact means that people will apply what we're teaching. It's one thing to talk about it, it's one thing to educate, but really you're not going to make a difference until behaviors are changed and people act and respond differently. So we believe it's important that we have these strategies around making an impact in our communities and watch and see people take what we are talking about, take what we teach, and apply it in their real life environment. That is measured or results in increased number of standards being applied more universally, seeing regulations and laws be written that reinforce the use of good corrosion technology, and seeing companies put good policy in place within their organizations to protect and prevent corrosion. And then goal 6 is around globalization. NACE has grown significantly around the world. We have to look at that as a tremendous opportunity for the organization. We have to look at it that we all benefit as NACE members because we have brothers and sisters in this industry working around the world. There's a tremendous amount to learn, and we have to have a means and a method to share that knowledge and information, to help each other grow as professionals, and to provide support to the member wherever they may be located. And so we've developed a series of goals around being a global organization that truly delivers our products and services around the world. With that, I want to thank you for your time. I hope that you'll take the effort and the energy in your meeting today to discuss these goals and look at how you as individuals or as an organization can make a difference and make an impact. I also encourage you to give us feedback either through your section officers, your committee officers, or directly to headquarters on how we can improve this plan, your ideas and thoughts on how we can be even more effective in reaching our envisioned future. Thank you very much.